Today, we're diving into the mystifying world of the Salem witches. Buckle up as we uncover the bizarre events surrounding the infamous Salem witch trials. Our story begins in 1692 in the Puritan village of Salem, Massachusetts, a seemingly normal community where paranoia and fear would soon grip the townsfolk in a vice of hysteria. Picture this. A small group of girls starts exhibiting strange behavior, fits, and convulsions in a time when superstition and fear of the supernatural ran high. It didn't take long for accusations of witchcraft to fly. Influenced by Tituba, a Caribbean slave owned by Reverend Samuel Parris, Tituba became the center of attention when the girls accused her of practicing witchcraft. Under intense pressure, she confessed, sparking a chain reaction of accusations that would rock Salem. The accusations snowballed, with more and more people being accused of consorting with the devil. Neighbors turned on neighbors, and the entire town was engulfed in a frenzy of paranoia. Fast forward to the courtroom drama. The Salem witch trials saw over 200 people accused, 20 of whom were executed. Shockingly, the trials were marked by dubious evidence, forced confessions, and a lack of due process. One of the most bizarre aspects of the trials was the infamous touch test. Authorities believed that if the accused touched a victim while having a fit, and the fit stopped, it was proof of witchcraft. Imagine relying on such a method to determine guilt. The hysteria reached its peak with public executions. 19 innocent people were hanged, and one man was pressed to death with heavy stones. These events left an indelible mark on American history, reminding us of the dangers of unchecked fear and mass hysteria. Now, let's delve into some even more bizarre details. The tactics employed by the afflicted girls were, to say the least, unconventional. They claimed to see spectral shapes and believed they were being tormented by the accused witches. This led to strange courtroom theatrics, with the girls mimicking the supposed torment they endured, adding a surreal twist to the already bizarre proceedings. Hold on tight for this one. In an attempt to identify witches, the authorities resorted to creating a so-called witch's cake. This concoction, made from the urine of the afflicted girls mixed with rye meal, was fed to a dog. If the dog exhibited symptoms similar to the girls, it was believed to confirm the presence of witchcraft. Spoiler alert, it didn't add any scientific credibility to the trials. Meet Giles Corey, an elderly man accused of witchcraft. In an act of defiance, Corey refused to enter a plea, knowing that a guilty plea would result in the forfeiture of his property. As punishment for his silence, authorities subjected Corey to a brutal form of execution known as pressing, where heavy stones were piled on his chest. Remarkably, even under extreme pain, Corey never uttered a word, making him a symbol of resistance against the unjust trials. But what about the judges who presided over this madness? In the aftermath of the Salem witch trials, some judges faced public backlash and guilt for their role in the wrongful convictions and executions. Samuel Sewall, one of the judges, publicly apologized, expressing remorse for his actions. The trials left a stain on the reputations of those involved, highlighting the devastating consequences of unchecked hysteria and the rush to judgment. Now, let's explore the role of the afflicted girls in more detail. It's crucial to note that these girls were not mere bystanders. They were active accusers. The motive behind their behavior remains a subject of speculation. Some historians suggest that social and economic tensions, coupled with a desire for attention, played a role. Others argue that underlying psychological or physiological factors may have contributed to their unusual symptoms, adding an extra layer of complexity to the already perplexing narrative. Hold on to your hats for this one. There's a fascinating theory that proposes a natural explanation for the bizarre behavior witnessed during the trials. Some historians point to the possibility of ergot poisoning. Ergot is a fungus that can grow on rye, a staple grain in colonial Salem. Consuming contaminated rye could lead to symptoms such as hallucinations, convulsions, and paranoia, symptoms that align with the behavior attributed to the afflicted girls. This raises questions about how much of the hysteria was driven by a medical condition rather than actual witchcraft. The Salem witch trials didn't happen in isolation. The community was grappling with economic hardships, land disputes, and social tensions. The trials provided an outlet for the expression of these broader anxieties. Accusing someone of witchcraft became a way to settle personal scores or divert attention from larger societal issues. This socio-economic backdrop adds a layer of complexity to the motivations behind the accusations and exposes the deep-rooted tensions within the community. Beyond the public trials, accused individuals faced a harrowing aftermath. Those fortunate enough to escape execution often found themselves ostracized by the community, their reputations forever tarnished. Families were torn apart, and the scars of suspicion lingered for generations. The impact of the trials extended far beyond the courtroom, leaving a legacy of fear and distrust in its wake. As we reflect on the Salem witch trials, it's essential to recognize the lasting impact on American society. The trials left an indelible mark on the nation's collective memory, influencing future discussions on justice, religious freedom, and the separation of church and state. The bizarre and tragic events of 1692 continue to captivate our imaginations and serve as a cautionary tale about the dangers of unchecked power and the consequences of succumbing to fear. The Salem witch trials stand as a dark chapter in history, filled with bizarre rituals, questionable tactics, and tragic outcomes. As we reflect on this extraordinary period, it serves as a stark reminder of the fragility of justice and the importance of learning from the mistakes of the past. If you're as intrigued as we are by these peculiar historical tales, make sure to like, subscribe, and join us on the next crazy history adventure. Until then, keep questioning, keep exploring, and stay curious. See you next time.